Let's see Kahurangi Carter's next question to the Minister.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'm speaking to Clause 4A, bracket 1 AAA, which is part of my amendment 241, and I do ask again whether the Minister will accept this, because I want to talk in response to a few things that the Minister has talked about in her answers. So the Minister outlined the reporting that is required of Oranga Tamariki, the Independent Children's Monitors and other bodies, none of which are enshrined in legislation. None. And we know that our laws have to reflect the country that we want. And the Minister has said that she wants our tamariki to be safe and to have stability and to have everything that they need to thrive. And when we're talking about reporting annually or reporting quarterly, it really ignores the everyday, day-to-day operations that are going on, the everyday care that we have for tamariki and the need for the CE to be responsive to that. So, for example, the Independent Children's Monitor brought out a scathing report just a few weeks ago. So naturally, what will happen at Oranga Tamariki and other bodies will be that there will be changes to processes and policy. And what's really important is that the CE has a legal obligation under our law to actually respond to those discrepancies that happen for tamariki Māori, which were outlined clearly in that report. And by saying no, we don't need to have that law in there for reporting, it takes away that real opportunity to have the CE have an overall view of what happens for these tamariki, because that report showed us that these tamariki aren't getting educated, they're not enrolled with a GP. There are so many things that are happening that really need us to take seriously that what is reported is what is addressed, and by only doing that annually or in these quarterly reports really takes away from the importance of the CE having it in there. Now, I want to respond also to the Minister talking about the 4 FTEs. Now, we know that about 600 jobs have been cut from Oranga Tamariki under the Minister's watch, and that's leaving us with about 419 less people working at Oranga Tamariki. So it feels ingenuine that you're saying that that the Minister is saying that 4 FTEs is a really big deal when over 400 jobs have been lost at Oranga Tamariki. So if we really are serious about providing safety, stability, and that being paramount here, then let's enshrine it in law. Let's make sure that the CE is reporting on those disparities that tamariki Māori, that even the Minister herself has just said and accepted that there are disparities for tamariki Māori. And I just want to go to Dr. Luke Fitzmaurice-Brown's Select Committee submission. Now, Dr. Luke is a lecturer at the law facility at Te Herenga Waka and Victoria University of Wellington with expertise in child protection and Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and completed their PhD on the topic of decolonising child protection in 2022. Now, part of his submission, he stated, "The stated purpose of this bill to ensure that safety and well-being of children in care is paramount. Overall, as I'm sure my submission makes clear, this misconstrues how the law operates, as Section 7AA in no way undermines safety and well-being." And he adds, "I oppose this repeal." So I ask the Minister again to please reconsider my Amendment 241, because we've worked really hard to listen to what the Minister wants from this bill, and this amendment will go a long way to achieving the purpose. Thank you.
Honourable Karen Chhour.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This will be the last time I answer to this question, because I've answered it multiple times. But what I will say is that ICM reports are a statutory obligation. The ICM has the power to require, and the power for the ICM to require the information from Oranga Tamariki is a statutory obligation, and the CE has a legislative obligation to respond to the ICM, and the ICM reports on these issues. The other area around the standards, when I talk about Māori having disparities within Oranga Tamariki, we know we have a high level of Māori children that come to the attention of Oranga Tamariki. What happens before they become to the attention of Oranga Tamariki is the responsibility of not just government, society and multiple agencies to get involved before they get to the point where they end up in Oranga Tamariki. But when they do, we need to make sure that we are meeting the standards for these young children, and we know we're not. And that needs to be the focus for all children within Oranga Tamariki. Now, Oranga Tamariki has an obligation in many places to report on multiple things, and the national care standards are one of them. They have a legal obligation to report on the national care standards, and there's around 80 of these national care standards to make sure that we are meeting them. What I want to do is focus on making sure we are assessing these children for what they need, and when they have those needs, that we're meeting them. And Oranga Tamariki needs to get that focus back. And this is the intention of this bill, get back to the core purpose of Oranga Tamariki, which is to make sure that we have the care and protection in place for these children, and also making sure that we are getting young people who come to our attention in front of the right people. And that's what these strategic partnerships and enabling community programs are about. They are about making sure that we are putting these young people in front of the right people who can meet their needs. And I take the point of the chair of the select committee pointing out that the one thing that the submitters really did want to keep was those partnership and enabling community programs, and the very party that's supposed to be fighting for that voted against it, which I really can't understand why a party that wants things done for Māori would vote against the strategic partnerships for Māori and the enabling communities for Māori staying within the bill. I mean, that's where we listened to what the submitters were saying and what they wanted, and we agreed to those changes. So I think we need to be very careful with accusing people of nitpicking at little bits and pieces, because honestly, for the party that talks about wanting to do things for Māori to vote against one of the biggest things that they asked for is actually quite disappointing.
Honourable.
I'm so confused by everything she just said. How do you protect children when you cut jobs? And how do you protect children when you give Oranga Tamariki limited time to present a full report? Like, she's not protecting anyone.
Yeah. Tautoko Laura. If you look at her, she keeps reading that same piece of paper.
Yeah.
You look at Kahurangi Carter, she's speaking from the heart, from the mana ore, for the people and the passion for it. You look over at Karen, she's just reading on the refill that someone next to her has written for her. She is not even thinking for herself.
Yeah, I think that is so completely right. I think she has been given talking lines from Atlas.
And given talking, wherever she got them from, she needs a refund. They're bad.
But sorry, Sam. Sorry, Laura. But also, can we ask for these reports to be made public? Can we all have a look? Because if it's not the care of all of our tamariki, should it not be transparent for all of us to see? Where are they? Where are they?
Just remember, I think they're in her head.
Yeah. I think whoever's writing next to her is probably writing up. I mean, she doesn't even talk about statistics or percentages or anything, or deterioration or any kind of movement. It's just like, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Where's the evidence?
I mean, here's one report that I've just highlighted here that people can click on. That's the regulatory impact statements.
Thank you so much. And I mean, if you come back to Te Reti o Waitangi, we're talking about partnership, protection, and participation. So where is that wrong at any place? Where does those three values ever make it unsafe for any other child that's not Māori? I mean, they're making it into a racial war instead of sharing what's there. It's to me, it's a cognitive decision to consciously separate us so then they can carry on doing what they're doing under the table without us all noticing. And the closer we come together, the more aware and awake we're going to be doing that together. And that's the Māori way together, you know?
Yeah, it's like Section 7AA. It's not hurting any other kids of any other ethnic group. It's benefiting Māori kids. So why are we revoking it? No other kids are at risk of getting harmed. Māori kids are getting better outcomes.
And thank
it's a
you,
win-win.
Laura. And what's wrong with what's wrong with supporting a child through your pipiha? And if everybody doesn't know that pipiha is about your lineage, where you come from, you get to learn what yours is. If you come from Scotland or wherever it is, it gives you a sense of identity. What other tikanga or other module can you do that suits everybody through a tikanga way? What's good for Māori is good for everybody to find your identity. All of us are lost. I mean, we've got a lot of people who've come through from colonisation that don't even know what their crest is from Scotland, or their sort of their whakapapa there. We have all lost from this. We are all trying to find our identity, and everybody has different gifts. If we all come to the table with a glass of water, we wouldn't be thirsty, but we'd all go hungry, and that's the whole point.
Yeah. So this way, I know where I come from, where my ancestors came from in England. I researched all of that. I know my whakapapa, my English side as well as my Māori side. You know, I don't know how many people of English descent actually know their ancestry. I can trace my family tree back 1,000 years to England.
And I'm proud of you, Laura, and you've had to do the work. But what if we had these sort of pathways through tikanga modules like pipiha and whakawhanaungatanga that suited for everybody to find their way to their different homes? Isn't that what we all want? Don't we want us all to thrive together?
That is kaupapa Māori right there. It's like, doesn't matter if you're Māori or Pākehā, everyone can learn about where they've come from.
We're all a kaitiaki for our children. Kaitiaki means a guardian for all children, not just mine, but if I see your kid over there and they don't have a sandwich, I'm coming over there with a sandwich too.
They're getting a sandwich whether they want it or
Thanks for watching. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. News Guide, The Order Paper Podcast. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. News Guide, The Order Paper